I will ask that we all rise to our feet. And sing this song briefly, the more we are together. And right thereafter will be our invocation.
The more we are together,
together. The more we are together, the happier we will be. The more we are together, together. The more we are together, the happier we will be. My friend and my friend is your friend, and your friend is my friend. The more we are together, the happier we will be. All right, thank you all. Remain standing. And I will ask any clergy in our midst to do our invocation. Is there any religious person in our midst? All right, then let me do it. Let's bow. Our Lord and God, we say thank you for this afternoon, for gathering us. For Lord, we know that it is for a worthy cause, and your word says, where two or three are gathered in my name, there I am in our midst. So Lord, I say take control of the discussion and help us, O God, with a way forward to the glory of your name. Yes, we ask in Jesus' name. Thank you. Please have your seat. All right. The arrival and seating has been done. The opening prayer and invocation has also been done. At this point, I will ask that we all sit attentively as we welcome to this podium our President and Professor, Dr. Siriwa Soma.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Moses, for the, and thanks to the students. We really appreciate you this afternoon. I know you are taking your midterm exam. You had to go home to study. Yeah, that's why they are quiet. And you accepted our invitation to come, especially to my class. I'm teaching an introduction to environmental geology. So they don't have a choice, but they have to come. But thank you so much for being here. You know, 17 years ago, I met Abraham in the United States of America. We had invited Liberia EPA to go to the States to see what we could do for this country. 17 years ago. We saw the need in this country that a nation without a vision is a nation that is bound to perish, especially talking about climate change. We always know that the universe is 14.5 billion years old. If we turn to the earth, it's another 4.5 billion years old. And then if we look at the distance of the sun, it's 93 million miles away. I will stop right there and talk about the delicate system that whoever created the universe, be it God or whoever you believe in, took his or her time to put this system together. System failure comes when one component fails. And this is what the world is facing today. Failure within the system of the universe, or the earth. If we don't come together to do something, to me, we all will be held responsible for the destructions of the universe. We saw the vision long time ago when I took office. I said to myself, Harbel College is going to be distinguished and distinctive from all the colleges and universities in the Republic. Our program will be a program of curriculum of relevance. Some people, when they heard the word curriculum of relevance, they took offense to that view. Today, had it not been that view, you wouldn't have been here. UNDP will not be visiting you. This is the visions of the college, and we welcome you. One of the smaller colleges in Liberia, but our hearts are bigger than all the hearts in the Republic. Here we have 4 schools, mainly School of Environmental Science, Agriculture, and Occupational Safety and Health, where we offer a Bachelor of Science degree in Disaster Management, Bachelor of Science degree in Occupational Safety and Health, Bachelor of Science degree in Climate Change, Bachelor of Science degree in Public Health. Those are curriculum of relevance to build the capacity of the Republic of Liberia. So we welcome you. The students are here. Well, they're going to engage you. They're going to ask you questions. But if I have anything to tell you here today, as we move on, without capacity building in the national curriculum of the Republic of Liberia at the university level, nothing more positive is going to be achieved. Because they break your minds, they break your hearts, and students and citizens of the nation must and should be educated at the level. We are the ones, we meaning universities and colleges, are the ones that conduct research for informative, informed decision making in the Republic. If you leave her out and only focus on one university because they are in Monrovia, it's a serious mistake. And I will bring this to your attention, that the environmental science degree at the University of Liberia, it came from our view. The environmental science, occupational safety and health program at Stella Marie Polytechnic University, it came from our effort. 17 years ago, we met you. We made 39 trips here in our country to propose environmental science, climate change, and occupational safety and health. Our words were never heeded. But today we are proud that what we proposed 17 years ago, the University of Liberia put out her first graduates in environmental science. So thank you so much for coming. Bowen Sayer.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for all the calls reminding me. You here at Harbel College. This is the home of the hippopotamus. We have the only female college at the base. Soccer team at the base at the college here, hippopotamus. We're in the LFA. We ran number 5.
Oh, wow.
All right. So there are a lot of stuff we do at the college. We offer. Well, the only college in Liberia that offers a Bachelor of Science degree in Liberian Studies and Geography is Harbel College. So in summation of before I just, thank you, take my seat, again, when it comes to visions and knowledge, to propel, move the nation in the stratosphere, those ideas and philosophy and visions are not lacking. Students and my fellow environmentalists, welcome to Harbel College and thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Soma. We expected nothing less. He's one of the tough talking of our time. All right, at this point, we would like to call on the family of UNDP to give us the purpose of this visit today so that we all know why we are gathered here. Please put your hands together for us.
Thank you very much. And I bring you greetings from the entire team at UNDP. And we are very honored to be at the home of the hippopotamus.
Thank you.
The hippopotamus, as you know, is a very unique species. And we are proud as a country to be one of the few places in the world where you can find that particular animal. So you must feel very special to be from the home of the hippo. This is 2022, and it marks about 50 years since the Stockholm Convention was held. And that convention raised global attention. World leaders convened and realized that there was a situation the world had to grapple with. The earth is ours to inhabit, but if we do not take care of the earth doesn't take care of us. At the 1972 Stockholm meeting, people started to look at how human activities were impacting the earth. The issue of environmental management, the issue of the safety, the health of the earth came at the forefront. After that summit, a lot of interventions have occurred. Right here in Liberia in 2002, we had the Environmental Protection and Management Law and the Act creating the EPA. But between that, over the period of 50 years, with all that have happened, this year allows us to stock take, to look at whether the world has become a better place since 50 years ago. Whether we as humans have managed to take a better care of the environment. Nature doesn't forgive. Without the environment, there wouldn't be humans. Stockholm 50 is an opportunity for us to reflect. About a couple of weeks ago, we convened in Monrovia to launch the Stockholm National Consultation, because in June this year, world leaders will be meeting in Stockholm again. This time around, to look at what have we done with the earth. Since 50 years ago, have we as a population done the right things to make sure that we have a planet that is safe, that can guarantee prosperity for all the populations of the world? As I stay here today, I see young minds. Your president, Dr. Soma, and I met 17 years ago in the United States. And we met to talk about the same issues of the environment. Maybe after I will ask him, because he's a scholar of the environment, to tell me whether 17 years ago the state of the Liberian environment has improved or it has retrogressed. But to cut short, long matter short, the Stockholm Consultation is an opportunity for you to say what you think about the way we are managing the environment. To offer your view in terms of how can we make this place a better place, not just for you and I, but for generations that come after us. As a country, we pride ourselves of being the country with the largest remaining Upper Guinea forest block. Are we managing our forests well? The issue of plastic pollution has become common in our society. Are we getting poorer or are we getting richer? Because without a safe environment, our prosperity is doomed. So this meeting offers you the opportunity as students to share your views when these global leaders meet in June in Stockholm. What are the issues that matter to you? What will you want to say to our leaders in terms of how we can better manage the Liberian environment? The Stockholm consultations are broad consultations for students, for community people, for youth, for women, for persons with disability. But this is a platform that offers you an opportunity to share your view about how we can ensure a safe planet for the prosperity of all. So it's not for me to speak, it's time for you to speak. So we are supposed to listen, and everything you say here is being recorded. As we stand here today, you are being watched from all across the world. All around the world, people are listening to you now. So what you say here will make a difference. This meeting is an opportunity to harvest your views. Your voice counts. So I don't want to say anything further. I want to say thank you on behalf of the Environmental Protection Agency, which is a partner to the UNDP, and which is in fact leading this consultation. The executive director and your own president will be in Buchanan tomorrow at the Buchanan Dialogue. But before we go to Buchanan, we want to kick up the momentum from here. So when we get to Buchanan, we can say we visited the home of the hippo, and these were the issues that came from there. So I want to say thank you for welcoming us, and we look forward to an exciting discussion. Thank you very much.
So, it is my time. My name is Bowen Sayan. I am the National Coordinator for the Consultations, and my colleagues here from the UNDP, we are happy that you agree to participate with us in this consultation. Before moving forward, I would like to point out one thing. 12 years ago, when I started my master's degree, I wrote on a topic assessing the level of pollution of major waters of the Republic of Liberia. As a young researcher back then, I did not have access to resources. There was no information that I could find anywhere in Liberia. Not many persons had written and published. So even using the internet, it was hard to find information. My dilemma was all my friends were picking easier topics to write on. And as usual, the person I am, I like to take the hard way, and I took something a bit more than I could chew. And my advisor at the time was like, our thesis committee already approved this topic. You can't change this topic now. And so I did not have anybody to reach to. I spent weeks and weeks trying to find information, because as long as you're on that path, you have to research. And I started researching, and one name kept coming. And that name that kept coming over and over was Dr. Soma. He was one of the only Liberians that have written great pieces of information that I could find on the internet. So imagine I had to do pollution analysis. I had to collect water sampling. Interestingly, the Farmington is when a Farmington story came up. And so I needed to track the level of pollution. So as a young researcher, I had to scan the Farmington, I had to scan in the cashmeres around to collect water samples. The only person who resources feature in chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 4 of my analysis is Dr. Soma. And since I wrote that paper, I graduated. I have never had the opportunity to meet him. It is only today, more than almost 12 years ago, I just met the man who helped me, but not even meeting me, to get a master's degree. Thank you so much, sir. So the life you live, what you learn, you must always be able to document it and share. So why are we here? My colleague Tume has already stated that we want to ask you a few questions. It's on the back of national consultations that we are having for Stockholm Plus 50. Environmental degradation, irregular rainfall patterns, climate change, impact on agriculture, forest cover loss of biodiversity, Liberia enacting laws, Liberia setting up policies and framework, the fact that we have educational institutions that are, providing you the space to learn about environment and natural resources. All of those things, we want to have a discussion, a heart-to-heart discussion and a family discussion on whether we as a country, whether we have made progress against what we committed to. The truth is, Liberia was part of the Stockholm Plus 50, the day all the countries of the world in Stockholm, when they converged to create this UN environmental program, Liberia was a signatory. Liberia was there. So 50 plus years, what have we done with the environment? Have we made progress? So today I will be asking you a few questions. We will make this as interactive as much as possible. It will not be long, because I know some people are already memorizing their note. But the truth is, what you contribute here today will help us. You are live. You are, like my colleague said, you are all over the world. People are watching you, and what you say here today will help us. So the way we'll do it is, I will ask a question, and then we will get 2 or 3 answers. And then we have small conversation around it, and then we'll go to the next question to save time. Is that fair enough? Can I proceed? Yes. No, but I mean, you ain't agree. Can I proceed?
Yes.
Some people not still agree. Can I proceed?
Yes.
So the first question, with all Liberia has been part of since we were founded, do you think Liberia is acting quickly enough by contributing all our effort? Do you think we are contributing enough to help the world to achieve a healthy planet and prosperity for all? Do you think Liberia is making progress? If you say yes, you give us why. If you say no, you give us why. Who's the first to go? Great. You stand up, you call your name, and then you introduce.
Yeah, by way of introduction, I am J. Fireboy Jr. from the Department of Environmental Science. Yeah, in respect to your question that you just asked, I would say that Liberia is not we are not actually contributing enough as it relates to getting rid of climate change and then promoting of healthy environment as it relates to your global. Reason being, all of these programs that you people are carrying on, it is not decentralized. You find out like today we are here, but then we will not see such thing again maybe during our graduation or maybe in the next 2 to 3 years. So what becomes of the all us in rural environments, like the villages around here, there is no education. So again, here Harbel College is the only trust they have around here with the students of Harbel College. But my problem here is that where is the support actually coming from? To go and talk is one thing. When you take transportation into consideration, all resources are involved. So I will clearly say that
we're not doing enough.
Education is not actually enough. It
So,
can be decentralized.
so as part of your recommendation, you would propose
It should
that
be decentralized.
decentralize as much as possible.
Yes.
Who disagree? Who agrees? Anybody here got another view? Or do you think that we've done as a country? Do you think we've done enough to contribute to global effort to achieve a healthy planet and prosperity for all?
Well, I do not think
You introduce yourself. I love names.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Moses Collier is my name, and I'm from the School of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, majoring in occupational safety and health.
Yeah.
All right, I want to agree, say that Liberia has not and is not contributing so much toward healthy planet. And I'd like to speak to the issue of policies that are protecting or supposed to be protecting our national forests, for example. If you took a tour now or sat along the Monrovia Canada Highway, you observe many trucks that will be carrying charcoal and wood in town. Our forest is still being depleted by chain soils, and I'm not very sure that it is being replanted as it should be. With that, pretty soon with the lack of the forest, you will see that our rivers will start to dry up and our species in the water and all of that will be depleted. And these things are going to have lasting impact on our society, even for us now in the generation to come. So we are not really contributing much towards having a healthy planet. More should be done in the aspect of policy and its effectiveness.
Great.
That's my recommendation.
So, thank you so much. You say your name again?
Moses Collier.
Moses has struck a very strong point. Liberia has the National Forest Reform Law. Liberia has the Community Rights Law. Liberia has laws on the book. But are they sufficient and are they implemented well? That's another thing. And for us to be able to contribute more to a healthy planet and prosperity for all, so that people can be able to benefit, it is important that we focus on policy effectiveness. My colleague there talked about decentralization. Moses has spoken about policy effectiveness. Wow, you have some smart students, huh?
They've been learning from the best.
Okay, my name is.
And boy, one play, please. If my colleague here gets to speak here, no female talk, we should walk away.
Yeah, we should walk away.
My name is Prince Moses Flomo,
Okay.
major in climate change from environmental science. I'd like to say that Liberia isn't doing much to help have a safer planet. In that, there is lack of education. Further when it comes to forest management. In rural Liberia, many people know actually about replanting or reforestation. So we see that there are more people who are involved with farming activities in the forest area. So people will go down a huge portion of the forest and then with no knowledge about replanting the forest. So the education aspect of how to to have a safer planet is one like in Liberia. Because there are people who know the knowledge and then the knowledge having been shared with the vast majority of our people out there. So is that a lot of men that people should be educated when it comes to having a safer environment. Like we have to use the 3 R's method as well to help us have a safer environment. That is to reuse, to reblend, and to recycle. So there's so much people like you talk on the plastic waste. There are a lot of plastic waste around us here, and then which are to be reused or recycled. And then because we are not involved with recycling, so there will be a lot of pollution from the plastic waste. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. So you actually, that's another strong point. In 1956, D12 said that if we have a generation that comes and they are not educated and they are not informed on key things, if we don't invest in education and awareness, then we are not making much progress. A colleague, somebody who's watching from Bangkok in Thailand, the person says that we need to bring about innovation like agroforestry and afforestation. You talk about reforestation too as well. So it's important that we focus on not only education, just education, but the practical aspects such as agroforestry. One way or the other, agroforestry can protect and regenerate depleted area or degraded area, and it makes it more commercially viable. It contributes to prosperity for communities, sustainability as well. So thank you so much. This question, let's be fair. We will not go to any question if no woman talk. Right? So the question again is, do you think we as a country, Liberia, do you think we have done enough to contribute to the global effort for a healthy planet and prosperity for all? From the women perspective, as people who actually use natural resources, as people who, okay, yeah, thank you, Mama.
Okay, I'm student
Ella Maola.
I would like to say no for we the female, especially with email environment towards climate change. We are causing most harm to the environment. We are improving more climate change to the environment. For example, we grow fish within the water, we throw that within the water. The process field will bring a lot of food within our community. Now to go to anyone or any of the houses around, you ask anybody if they are using gas to cook the food, they will tell you no, we got no facilities to that. We are using charcoal to cook our food. We are using gas, putting in our car, and causing a lot of effect to climate change. So we can minimize it by stop the burning of charcoal, like deforestation, stop the cutting down of wood, and also improve our system through technology. We can use solar panel to put our television on that, gas Because we notice that if we are burning gas, we cause a lot of smoke within the air, and it cause climate change. Thank you.
Wow, thank you.
You see why I say that we make sure it goes away?
I think you making serious magic here. Because she talked about energy, improve energy needs, energy utilization, reduce emission through deforestation and forest degradation, technologies. She talked about the use of solar energy. Wow, you talk about 4 different things. Congratulations. But for Liberia, your recommendation is we need to transition more to the use of these alternative sources of energy, right? And then you talk one thing again about pollution in water. You talk about using plastic and all that. So that's really great. Thank you so much. I really like that. One more woman, anybody? I know you're ready now. So yeah, let's do one more woman and then we can go. Nobody? Y'all give me something, man. What? 3 men will talk, 1 woman talk? Yeah, y'all gotta try, man. Okay, while you're thinking about that, and let's save time, let's make progress. The next question we have here is, what will help Liberia speed up actions towards achieving a healthy planet and prosperity for all? What key things that you think Liberia needs to do that will help us? Okay, where we are right now, the question says that what will help us to speed up action. So it means that one way or the other, Liberia is making some progress, right? But what do you think would be the set of activities that we need or actions we need to speed up our contribution to a healthy planet and prosperity for all? Let's be mindful of how the communities will be able to participate in all of this, how policymakers will be able to contribute to this, how the private sector, such as Firestone, will be able to contribute to this, so how the schools, how all the industries will be able to contribute, what set of actions we need to speed up our contribution. Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Moses, huh?
Yeah. Moses, once again, and this is one of the questions I anticipated highly.
Right.
Right now, as you speak, I believe that the world together with Liberia have been doing something, many things, many programs have been put into place to help Liberia speed up. But as a Liberian and living here for several years, one thing I think that the world, through UN or whatever, can do to help Liberia speed up is to set up an effective monitoring system that will lead to punitive measures against people who will try to deviate from the pattern that has been set, the system that will be organized. And with that, I go back to the recommendation that I made earlier on. If we must safeguard our environment, especially so the forest, like take for instance, so that farming, subsistence farming will be cut down and we use the swamp as it's being proposed over and over. You need to train people how to farm in the swamp and stay away from the forest. More than just that, you need to put in a program that will support those farmers and make them effective in all its sense of the word. Now, when those programs are put into place, my belief is that the impact is not really being felt by those communities, by the local people in the community who are supposed to benefit and make this thing happen.
Great.
So based on that, and several more, you'll realize that the program will be there designed as a white elephant, quote unquote. So if Liberia must make a speedy progress, an effective monitoring system that will lead to punitive measure must be put into place.
Yeah, and not only that too, but must invest in lowland agriculture technologies, right?
Yeah, investment should be done in lowland agriculture activities.
Yeah, okay,
training
great.
and farming implements and all of that.
Yeah, investment in lowland agriculture technologies.
Yeah.
Well, you want to talk again too, right? So yeah, something on her. She
Yeah.
really want to talk again. So yeah, talk again, my dear.
Yeah, as for me, I will say.
What set of actions we need to speed up our contribution to a healthy planet and prosperity for all?
Yeah, as for me, I would like to say that
Educate.
people, like the others one, the people who are not in school, and also put people more workers within the field to also tell the people the good and the bad things within the environment. Like we the environmental student for Harbel College, we went out in the field, we went in the marketplaces, we went at people working places, we went at school, we tell them about climate change. We give them some example, we tell them how climate change can involve, how we causing climate change nowadays. We went in the field, educate them. So my would be like for more people within the field, employ people and educate to educate the educated ones.
Well, I like that. More manpower, and heavy investment in non-traditional systems for education, right? So it means that you got to target the people who are formerly literate and informal and the illiterate people. So you have to design culturally appropriate techniques, right? So it has to be targeted. Yeah, my dear brother, stand up, you call your name. How can we speed up the actions?
I'm Amanda Junior, student reading civil engineering.
Civil engineering.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I would like to start with this. A good environment leads to a good home, and that of a good home leads to a good environment.
Right.
I would first like to say we can best do this by carrying on awareness.
Right. Awareness.
And this awareness will be carried on in this way. One, by educating people how to use, because we have certain materials, like certain machines, as most of our farmers here, they are not exposed, they are not educated in using this material or chemical. That if you go to most of the environments, like where to apply these certain chemicals, and we have both macro and microorganisms in the soil. And these macro and microorganisms in the soil, they are beneficiary to the growth of plant, and they are also beneficiary to our life. Because in science, we know that in one way or the other, we depend on each other for life. Plant depends on we the humans, and the humans depends on plant, because due to the common exchange of gas, which is carbon dioxide, and that of what? Oxygen.
Yeah.
So we should create awareness, and the awareness should not be that of what blaming. We should get in the rural area, rural environments to educate people, especially farmers that are involved into this activity, how to use, chemicals, how to apply them. Even most of our women, if they happens to go at the rivers to fishing, most of the time, certain animals are there. Though most of them, they may consider them as not eatable. They may damage them, kill them, but forgetting that they are useful to the environment. So we should create awareness, so this will also help us to speed up.
Thank you so much. So the role of microorganisms and how they support life systems is important. So we must create awareness around them, and we must also create awareness on the application of chemicals that it should not have an adverse effect on these microorganisms that play key role in the human survival systems, right? So anybody has another question? Somebody looking at me. Somebody, yeah.
Well, let me say I'm following the chat too. So double Wokolo, I don't know from where.
Okay.
But he has said there's a need to improve policy and pay direct attention to communities to encourage them to keep their forests or resources.
But yeah, Double makes a strong point. We must, as a country, pay attention to policy development that are suitable for emerging situations in Liberia. Sometimes, maybe if you look at the EPA law, certain things that were applicable 10 years ago or 12 years ago or 14 or 20 years ago, they may not be the same things that are still applicable now. So we must pay attention to, adjusting those policies and ensuring that we are monitoring, ensuring that we are enforcing the rules for punitive measures to be able to discourage degradation. So thank you so much, Double. Anybody else?
And our follow-up point is the issue of incentive for people to keep their forests or resources. And I also like to link that to what she said
Yeah.
earlier on. People want to apply better approaches to managing the environment, but they do not have the means. Poverty is constraining their ability to adapt appropriate technologies. So incentives in those directions is what Double is referring to, and we must further emphasize by
Which
the
is-
female colleague.
Which is very, very good. Thank you so much for your contribution. Anybody, what have been talking for on this side? And one person, anybody from, Reye? Anybody, what do you think we can do to speed up the actions? Anybody can give us something? Or you're keeping it for your 100% question, eh? Yeah, okay, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So what has been, yeah.
I think one of the underpinning of a nation is the nation's culture. And when you destroy the culture and the tradition, you are seriously in trouble. In this country, we have the Poro and the Sandy. I would say colleges.
It's true.
They use the derogatory name to destroy the Sandy and the Poro. The Sandy and the Poro historically have contributed to the protections of the environment.
Yes, the kept forest.
There were certain time, okay, we call it the growth.
Yeah.
They have certain growth. You couldn't cut down certain trees. Today, what they call wawa in the country that comes from the cotton tree. They have cut down all the cotton tree. There was a certain time that you can go fishing. Everybody goes fishing. And they cut certain type of fish. The other one you couldn't bring it to town because it was this small.
A quota system.
And then you couldn't kill the hippopotamus, the lions, and the leopard. So what we have done to ourselves as a nation is to destroy the cultural institution that underpin the protections of the environment. And if we have to forge ahead, Liberia needs to revisit those institutions. I am not supporting some of the things that they talk about.
FGMs and stuff.
That's not what I'm saying. Remove that from there. The culture has to change. It doesn't have to remain the same. Those things that are there that are destructive or harmful to women, what it is, we can educate our people, we get it out of there. But to call for the total destructions of the Poro and the Sandy, to me, is a misguided decisions in this country.
I think that's a really strong point. The only reason Liberia still has 43% of the Upper Guinea forest ecosystem is the role our traditional systems and cultural norms have played in conserving these forests. And so it's important that we reinvest in cultural education, traditional education, the quota system. Certain times, in the forest, in the communities, some people don't hunt because sometimes the animals are breeding, and sometimes the animals still have young ones, and so they stop the hunters from going. And so it's important that we always, cherish those kind of information. Thank you so much, Doc. Anybody has anything else that they want to contribute to accelerate our actions? Great. Then we go to the third question. Of all the things that we've been doing in Liberia, what has been successfully implemented that is accelerating the transition towards a green and clean energy? Of all the things that we've been doing in Liberia, we put the EPA, we created EPA, Environmental Protection Law, we created different things. But clean and green energy has been a challenge, and Liberia has been making progress. Somebody gave an example. So what do you think are some of those actions that really help us in accelerating us towards that direction? Could it be that we're developing policies? Could it be that we as a country is investing in solar energy? Could it be that we as a country, we're developing more hydro? I'm told that Firestone here current doesn't go off, right? Because you're not running, diesel generators. Most of the time you got electricity. So could we, I think when we're coming, we saw on top of the roof there, we saw a lot of pieces of panels. What do you think as a country that we can accelerate, that we can speed up in investing in green and clean energy. Somebody talked about charcoal production, and her recommendation was, an investment in the alternative sources. So can we have, answers from you?
Sorry.
No, she was already.
All right, go ahead.
Mandia? No.
I was asking him to rephrase the question. I think.
What do you think?
All right.
For us to speed up, and for us to accelerate the creation of green and clean energy, what do you think we as a country we need to do? Now, clean and green energy, somebody talk about I think 3 arrows. Somebody talk about solar, somebody talk about policy, so as a country, we have been doing a lot. What do you think for us to accelerate that? What do you think we need to do? Yeah. No, let me have it from somebody. If we can't participate, I will target people. That means I'll come to you and ask you the question. That's one thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, there should be more reforestation. Those trees that like people cut down, there should be a law put into place to make sure that these trees are replanted. And if the policy actually is into place, you'll find out that people have to follow it. And not being into place only, but the implementation must be there also. That's one great thing. Because if you just take a tour around here, you see people go there and burn farm, and at the end of the day, they just walk away. So that's one of the greater things that's actually affecting. So whenever we are carrying on how to call it reforestation, definitely we'll have a very suitable act, and we are going to enjoy the green atmosphere.
Reforestation, that's a really great idea. There are some countries like China, every one person is responsible for, I think, 3 or 7 trees. So you have to plant it in rural parts of China. And after many years, those places are, reclaimed and regenerating right now. Yeah, Moses.
Yeah, sorry, I had to intermediate, but I really had this on mind. One thing that Liberia can do, probably in consultation with the world body that is responsible for green energy, is to ensure a system that will bring about recycling waste. Like you and I know, when you take a tour now, our land is highly polluted with plastic waste and even other biodegradable waste as well. But then there is nowhere we have to dispose of this waste because nowhere can be sufficient. Waste, as we know, is a matter and it cannot be destroyed. So it will continue to haunt us no matter how far we carry. But if we can get into the business of building factories or technologies that can recycle the plastic waste and every other waste to make it reuseful in the society, it will help to regenerate a green and fresh energy. And the second point, before I take my seat, will also have to do with investing in solar energy. And basically in the era of preparing our food in the homes, charcoal, Liberia is heavily dependent on charcoal burning. Heavily. So the only way you can get rid of that is to provide a means, a technology that will replace that idea of cooking and using charcoal. Other than that, people have to eat. The people up in Chiro will burn wood to cook. Those that are in the city will burn wood indirectly, the charcoal. And people will live on fire, on eating. So if nothing is done to provide technology that will replace the burning of charcoal, then we are not going to make any speedy progress in the area of energy generation, green energy.
I saw one of my colleagues here just say, So it means that she gets something she wants to do. Yeah, right? So you talk off. I'm sure that you talk off and so stay this out. So that you can talk something. Call your own. I heard you say but call your own. It stay inside you. So far. Yeah, but tell the other one. Ask more there for me. Yes, more. Ask more there now. Yeah, you, my man. Yeah. No, that man. I saw that man.
Alright. My name is George Epsmo, reading environmental science major. I think what Liberia need to do is speak up for the suitable development of climate change is to invest mostly in biofuel. Yeah, that is where we'll move from using charcoal in our homes and also to our offices, where we'll be able to use the biofuel to carry on our activity, our homes, activity. Also by moving from fossil fuel, where in Liberia we use fossil fuel mostly, where you see our cars, they are burning the fossil fuel, emitting CO2 into the atmosphere. Yeah, we are destroying the ozone layer for us. So I think that we need more technology when it comes to biofuel and
This is excellent. I like that. Thank you. An investment in biofuels technologies. Yeah.
Okay. Principle once again. For me, what I'd like to say is that we have to get involved in volunteerism when it comes to cleaning up the environment. So that also help, create a safer and a healthier environment. Because nowadays, many of us, the youth, would not like to go outside there and clean it up. And a healthy community becomes our business as well.
Yeah.
Like I talk about the 3 R's. That is to reuse, to recycle, and to reduce. So in reducing all this waste, the plastic waste are in majority in our country like Europe. And then like let's say we don't have place to dispose of this waste. So we can get involved in the community cleaning up, without expecting pay, because we will not ever pay. But then to get paid, one of the easier ways is to get involved in volunteerism. So when we are involved with this, we can help also to clean up our environment, and it will help us also to give our help the health. Another thing is that we should we always value motorcycle here and there. Even though on a short distance, we want to buy bicycle or motorcycle business, and motorcycle kids, now the GHG, the ammo fear.
Yeah.
So I would let the government that we get used to at least getting on a bicycle, let get used to bicycle and short distance walking. Yeah, because if you are, if it comes to what we call a carbon footprint, it helps us. In this, if you write carbon footprint, if you ride like for to where I live, 43 is 100 LG on Moldova. So if you can calculate the distance, in between here, you see that there is a percentage that we might have made there in the atmosphere, on a short distance.
Sure.
So let bicycle, to get you on our short distance.
Besides, bicycle it's healthy. It helps you to, you walk more, you train more, you exercise more, you burn more fat. That's a lot. COVID-19. COVID. As a country, Liberia, 2020-2021. Do you think Liberia has recovered from COVID? In all aspects, especially environmental wise, natural resource management wise, our economy. Do you think we have recovered? Yeah, been waiting for you to talk.
Yeah, C. Harbel College, lecturer in public health. I also work with the Ministry of Health concerning COVID. in Liberia epidemic, March 16, 2020, we have our first index case. Our first index case in Liberia. And we look at the index case and the cases of Liberia, our system was well built by Consultation and the COVID-19 epidemic have brought a huge effect on agriculture, on economic, on education, and in all activities. But in related to environment activities,
Do you think we are recovering as a country?
as a country, we are trying, in a sense, like people are now in the making that environment play a role in health, because the attitude and the latitude of the environment play a huge role in the health of the people. And now people are on alarm that washing our hands, because washing our hands play a main role preventing yourself from microorganisms and also of COVID-19. But in the recovery of the environment aspect, Liberia, we are trying gradually on forest. Well, many people now they are not doing deforestation. We are trying to put some or implement some law on that. Yes.
Thank you so much. So, others, you want to answer, right?
Yeah.
Whether we as a country, Liberia, do you think we are recovering from COVID-19, the impact of COVID-19?
Okay, my name is Tuali Mendy.
We didn't get you probably.
My name is Tuali Mendy.
Tuali.
Yeah, I'm from the education department. Okay, when it comes to recovery from COVID, we have not had recent cases where people say, oh, there were 2-3 cases, people admitted at social hospital. So we have not recovered fully environmental wise, but when it comes to health issue, we have recovered.
Okay.
Instead of the environment, the state that COVID leaves devastation on our environment. So we are not recovered fully yet.
Great. We're not recovered fully yet, but we're trying small.
Cases of recent.
Yeah, decreasing cases or no reported cases. That is good. Yeah, Chief. And after that, then I will ask her to answer the question. Great. So 2 ladies are here to answer whether we are recovering from COVID-19.
Really, I can say we are not recovering because the concept there, if we look at our health centers, our health facilities, if we even look at those materials that have been used during the process of the COVID-19, because we are not talking about bacteria here, we are talking about virus. We know viruses have life when it attached to the living cell, and it is death when it attached to the dead cell. So, my reason of saying we are trying to recover, but temporarily trying to recover, not permanently trying to recover. Because the concept there, where those are used material have been sent, where those used material have been used, we don't know in times to come, when we have our farmers around, we have people at stand fighting in the bushes, because these materials where they are put, mainly it's not preventive, as stand we just take them, go and throw them on a dumper, where in times to come, somebody may get there and get into contact with it. Like if you get to Malawala, if you get to the Lusa clinics, where these materials are being disposed, they are not what really secure in one way or the other. People must get there, to get in contact with this material.
But don't you think these clinics have incinerators where they are burning the needles and the polluted things?
In one way or the other.
You don't think the disposal is sufficient, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wanted to follow up. So we still talk about recovery from COVID. So I see a lot of emphasis on the health.
No health.
What about the economic recovery?
Other
There
people
are
getting
people
jobs
doing
now.
certain businesses before COVID, but because of COVID, they can no longer do those businesses. a lot of people lost their income as a result of COVID. Do you see a Liberia where some of these people can get back into business? Some of these people that lost their job, they can get back those jobs. What's your thought in that direction?
Yeah, this girl in the yellow. She really wants to talk. Check her.
My name is Princess Eze, studying disaster and emergency management.
Oh, disaster.
When it comes to the COVID issue, I will say that we are not recovered. We are trying to. Yes, because eventually we are still thinking on COVID-19. And when it comes to the health issues, we are not recovered. Our health systems are poor. Seriously. When it comes to the community, we as students and community dwellers, we are not following the rules of COVID-19. If you hang your bottle to your house, and then say before you enter my house, please wash your hands or use your sanitizer. People will say she know too much, she act like she know too much. So we are suffering from that. We are students and dwellers of community. We are not trying to recover.
What about jobs and business?
Yeah, people lost their business, a job, because of this COVID-19.
They want COVID-19. So the way you're talking, I'm really enjoying you. So what do you think are some of the ways in which people are recovering from, from the impact of COVID-19? Yeah.
To recover from COVID-19, we just need to follow the rules.
Just follow the
Washing
rules.
your hands, using your sanitizer, your nose mask.
How about the economic recovery? The economic recovery. How do we recover economic recovery?
They may really want to.
Yeah, you want to.
All to hear and talk.
I'm Sunday Essay.
And as soon as you finish now, then she will talk.
Sunday's essay, you're reading Consultation.
Oh, okay. OHS.
Economically, we are recovering righteously. But there's intrusions of the Russian war into A again. We're making progress. No, the fact is that this country, Liberia, we wholly and surely depending on people up there. And the COVID-19 was a glorious pandemic. It hit this entire world. So for the fact that the people up there are not recovered yet, we ourselves on this side will not recover. And the Russia war coming into it. So the remedy, the best solution there now, it is more companies closed down. People lost their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to wake up to do something with your hand. You don't have to be waiting for those companies to come back and retake you. But get on your feet, do something. If we do that, then we'll be getting on fire instead of waiting for the people up there to get recover before coming to us.
Thank you so much. So, you will talk anything else? You will talk. You on international TV, everybody looking at you. Huh?
Well, I should think that I thought I would say something.
Yeah.
In other parts of the world, in other countries, the national government provided money,
subsidies,
small loans, and other incentives to help those who are going through the disasters. In this country, I have yet to hear, read, or learn about any national loaning mechanism to provide money to the citizen. This is what I propose. I think there should be a COVID-19 project. Liberia has some of the most useful products, I would say, in the world. You have people who don't have work to do. They have lost their little earning. Is there a way that the government can propose a national project in terms of farm, We got how many countries we have in Liberia? 15. That each country is tasked with the productions of a specific crops of fruits that we can harvest, we eat some, and if it's too much, we send some out of this country.
Investment
For
in
example,
agriculture.
pepper. If our national pepper farm was in, let's say Grand Gila, with 100 acres of land, 100 acres of land, where we can ask the international community to invest in that farm. We can put young people back to work. We can put our women and sisters and mothers back to work. And if I want to be very specific, take peanut for example. Within 3 months, we are going to be harvesting peanuts, eating some, and selling some. Take for another example, pineapple. What we call the sugar box is only 6 months. Another 150 or 250 acres of land. You can put that girl back to work. Post-conflict or post-COVID national project, and we can ask international investors that you do this for us. Our people are going to work, and then we're going to eat some and we sell some. Why isn't there a national project in this country?
So you are calling for increased investment in agriculture.
In agriculture.
Specifically to produce consumable
that are faster, we can eat some, they can be
and you
working,
can sell it.
and we can sell some.
Great, yeah. Thank you so much. You wanted to say something. So my dear, you refuse, huh?
Yeah,
Oh, well, she said she wants to say something. Sorry, my man. No, go ahead. We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting for you today. Go ahead now, because you're wasting your time now.
I thought this was going to be the last question, right?
Two more questions.
Oh, yes, good.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, but the last.
No, I don't want a question. Because, but I don't want to go already from this.
So you get to this.
Yo, you ready? Yeah, man, you want to talk? You got one more. Oh, yeah, finally. Hey, she ready, man?
My name is Frida J. Mova, student of the Public Health Department.
That's excellent.
Yeah, when it comes to COVID issue, we are really trying, but we are not totally clear. The reason I'm saying this is because we used to hear cases every time, but this time around, it's not like before.
Right.
Yes. But when it comes to the community in the school, actually we are not abiding by those rules and regulations that we hear on the radios. We see us shaking hands and no social distances. For the recovery, we are trying our best.
Let's go to the final question. I believe I will capture you. In your opinion, what are some of the good things? Because we're not talking whether we're making progress, some people say no. We're not making progress, not enough. People say we're making progress, not enough. So in your opinion now, what are some of the good things Liberia has done to address environmental issues? What are some of the good things Liberia as a country has done to address environmental issues? In your opinion? They got one at the top.
Question answer is a mindset.
Okay, great.
Talking about COVID.
Okay, yeah, okay, great. I understand. So be resting here. So, yeah, from you. What do you think are some of the good things we've done as a country to address environmental issues? Remember, we listed all the environmental issues, right? So how as a country are we addressing?
All right.
And your hand up too? Yeah, we'll come to you.
One thing Liberia as a country has done to address this environmental issue has to do with the restriction that was placed on the Sabo National Park. However, that was achieved, and whatever mechanism they put in place to ensure that the forest is being preserved and the wildlife are being kept safe is really something I commend as a major step in trying to make our earth a better place. And that is one thing I can count at least for Liberia.
So the protection of forests.
Yeah, forest
and wildlife. You wanna get a hand up, right? Okay. All right.
Okay, my name remain constant. I'm something cheap to buy. Reading disaster.
You say your name remain constant?
It's my name.
But we're not choosing your name. Let me progress.
Okay. From the disaster department. You know, we are the product of our environment. So, I really want to tell the Liberian government thank you for bringing forth the environmental sciences courses to us today that some of us were able to identify some disaster, some climate change that are taking place around us today. That's one of the key.
Yeah. Education, right? Okay, right. Oh, yeah, thank you. Anybody else? What are some of the positive things that you think as a country we are doing to address environmental issues? Mama, you're not getting the mindset now? Okay, Chief, let's hear from you.
So I don't have no contribution on
environmental.
So I don't want to. From my point of view.
Get your point.
My name is Otis Morris. You study education.
It's good.
Okay, my point of view on what we are discussing here is that everything linked to poverty, policy making, like we're implementing the rules of law, and lastly love. Alright, let me just speak on the security aspect on our policy making. You see?
But don't talk politics.
No, it's not politics.
Okay.
Yeah. On the implementation of the law, the rules of laws.
Good.
As a security personnel, because I'm a staff sergeant in the military, I've been in the military for 15 years. You see, I visited so many cases where they get people cutting trees down and doing other things. You will see there are some trees that it's not necessary to be cut down. Because looking at the environment, but when they cut the trees down, people will bring the trees, the security will not, so security there. We are leading on the people and they will not try to tell the people that the things we are doing is wrong.
Rule of law.
The fee that they want to collect some money from them and they lie to do what they want to do. So equally so, we need to see how best we need the rules of laws. You see, we tell them that the thing you are doing is the wrong thing. And follow the rules of law. The laws again, one of the key points is the law. We have law, all these things we are talking about will not happen because lack of law. You see, some things they are happening. You can go that's careful.
Thank you so much. The rule of law. You emphasize on the rule of law.
Yeah.
You talk about enforcement, and another person talk about policy. You want to say, as a country, what are the good things that you think we have done to advance environmental issues? After you, then,
One good thing that Liberia has done to advance environmental issue is that Liberia, is a member of most of these environmental programs, international programs that cover environmental in the world. And but there's no Liberia can at least help to advance environmental issue, just as the UNFCCC. Because Liberia always signing these documents when they say Liberia come and sign Liberia, and when it comes to the politics of the climate, we don't have much part to play there as a country, but at least Liberia is always a member of most of the international bodies that govern the environment. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You wanted to say something?
Which of course, if you're supposed to be to a trial and then you went to a wet land, try to build a house there or building construction carrying to the wetland, the EPA will stop you to not build there because their water should be seated. If you build there, the water will come within the environment. So they are stopping people, and which of course they put for.
Sir, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. All right. When you spoke this, one of the things I really admire is that what they are trying their best on is the NAVA. Yeah, the NAVA, they are trying their best. Even when monitoring the field, they said they are giving safety to the people who will be for the sea, and they are giving description on which type of fish that they will bring on the ocean. So they are really trying their best, and they are monitoring, they are following, and people they are paying their taxes as well.
So that's the National Fisheries Authority and the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority.
Exactly.
Yeah, they are creating awareness all over the place. So that's great. The creation of NAFA too. Oh yeah, you ready now? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm facing there from the occupational safety and health.
Okay, it's good.
One good thing I would say that the Liberian EPA put into place, one, about still comes of pollution, the land pollution, the air pollution, and water pollution. But still, it is not enough yet. You still have to recommend to continue.
To find another set of pollution?
It is not enough. All of us still doing it, but you have to gradually
increase awareness to make sure that those pollution reduce, right? Yes. Great, that's excellent. You want to tell me from right here, you're not talk?
Oh.
You sit down, you're louder to happy?
So again, Liberia has done how much for the few of which they have done has to do with the massive involvement of the members of the Environmental Protection Agency, that's the EPA. That is, they have done much in that they take biodiversity into a very serious consideration. Because before you observe that people just go anywhere, brush anywhere, cut down trees anywhere, people don't take the other local species into a very serious consideration. And that's one thing they put policy into place to get rid of. Another thing they take into consideration has to do with the water pollution. They have put law on it. Those days, like 10 to 15 years back, you observe that people just go and put chemicals in the water, where all people within the environment are drinking from the water, but then they care less about that, they destroy the water cycle. The little fish that they catch it, and then the one that will get right and destroy the water for the others that will not use it for drinking purposes. So with all of these things, these measures that they put into place, it gave a red definition that Liberia is actually doing well on our part. On another development, you observe that those companies that are signing agreement with the country or with Liberia, if you are like these logging companies, they give you the chance to cut down the loss, but also if you cut like 15 trees down, you will be able to plant 10. So all of these things put into place.
You mean when you cut 10,
you cut 10, you plant 5. You cut 15, you are plant 10. So it's like, while you carry on deforestation, you also be carrying on reforestation. So this, I think, like, we're actually.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
One thing the main government on is the issues of the forest side cleaning. The issues of forest side cleaning that were introduced by Mary Broad. I think it's helping us a lot when it comes to cleaning our community. But instead of forest salary, I recommend that they take another salary, 2 salaries in a month.
So the first salary effective?
It going on. But what the challenge in there is collecting those waste. And the people are collected all of the waste from the environment and from the street. They gather it somewhere. But to go collect it from there and go to a specific
disposal. Waste disposal.
Waste disposal remain a challenge. And one area again is the issues of taking the species in the bush, calling them meat. And you know, sometimes you see the passing, say, oh, meat they're passing. Because we used to eat. We used to eat it. I used to eat it. I can eat it. So I recommend.
You can decide what you used to eat it or you can still eat it.
I can still eat it. But I recommend to the government that those up there in the rural area to empower SDA that the bringing of the meat into the city is supposed to stop to seize it to every checkpoint. Because if that do so, the men will have a chance to kill it and can sell it for good money. It will still be in the bush, they want to be on those money.
So FDA has a program called Wildlife Confiscation Unit. So I used to work for FDA before. I will not tell you much about myself. So FDA, we created the Wildlife Confiscation Unit. Anybody who catch chimpanzee and bring it in the town, anybody who keeping monkey in the town, FDA and the government of Liberia has passed a law. It says that if you are caught with an animal and you not domesticate, you make it all a pet, they can catch you and put you in jail up to 5 years. That law. They pass around all around in the country with it and ask 20 people. So that one I won. The bush meat, what they can bring to town. FDA has created checkpoints. For the purpose of that checkpoint is to reduce it. So FDA is supposed to catch it and burn it and not give it to anybody. Where FDA used to catch it and confiscate and sell it and auction it, and so nobody would continue doing it. So then they started burning it when Ebola came. When Ebola came, they started burning it. Afterwards, some bad people go there again. As soon as they catch it, they small thing they carry states. That one, they were talking about law for country. So all those things are laws. But you ask the question, if you be taking my meat, if you be taking all the other things, and what I'm supposed to get my daily bread from, what do you expect me to do? And so the first way to do that, FDA is working with other partners. UNDP has a livelihood program that only taking, I think, to an extent, Wild Chimpanzee Foundation. Right now they got, I think, 15 women in Zwedu, 15 women in Monrovia, 15 women around Sapo National Park that were selling bushmeat before. They gave them skill, they gave them opportunities, they gave them training, they built some eco lodges for them, and they managing it. So they changed it. So all I wanted are small, right? So that what FDA plan to do.
Yeah. Once again, I'm George Harbel. I would let to employ the EPA when it comes to safe drinking water. Because way back, you used to see a lot of mineral water where people just take it from any area. Some people will open a mineral water company to safe area. And at the end of the day, you will find out that the cholera, the diarrhea, they were managing that bureau. But since the establishment of EPA and the going around doing inspection, when it comes to mineral water, I think the cholera and diarrhea have reduced in our country.
Which is good.
Yeah, so I think the government is really working on that.
Thank you. Moses has a recommendation, right?
Yes.
Yeah, one recommendation. When Moses gives it now, then we stand and then we close. Because some people say they're studying and we're posting it. And the one who study, and then so that they cannot complain. Or that she won't go. So yeah.
Alright, so Moses Kola once again my name, and I'd like to use this time to thank the UNDP family so much for visiting us today. And I want to do this recommendation to you that UNDP, in an effort to maximize its potential, her potential in environmental issues, should work along with our national government to really support institutions that are breeding people with the idea and the skills that are necessary to take care of our environment. All institutions. And with that, I would say they should begin with Harbel College as a matter of fact. Because Harbel College is one of the colleges in Liberia, I don't know. I think so far I would say the premier when it comes to environmental sciences that are offering bachelor's degree, specifically in the places of environmental science, climate change, occupational safety and health, and all of that. So if UNDP will realize the potential and have manpower to be able to fast track the spread and the positive impact of environmental issues in this country, they should be able to work with national government to support Harbel College and all other institutions that are teaching environmental sciences.
That's great. Only recommendation. Only recommendation. You got recommendation and you get recommendation. That's all. You're talking so get in. Recommendation.
Recommendation, yeah.
Only recommendation I'm taking.
You see, I will tell the government thank you once more again on the issue of disasters management. Whenever these things happen, the military can take full swing to see how best they can control the situation. So once again, I will tell the government that I will recommend to the government that any kind of things that are happening again, that the army should take full swing and carry on our teaching.
In collaboration with the disaster management agency. And that's all. Great recommendation. What happened to you?
This is Prince Flomo from the Environmental Science Department. My colleagues are here. Let me applaud a team of visitors from the UNDP family that came to us today. On behalf of the class and the student body of Harbel College, I want to recommend that the UN arm that is responsible for environmental activities in Liberia can accept students for internship. She will at least know, please open door for us for internship. And we also know that this environmental science or the climate change issue is a global issue, affecting all of us. So if there is need for scholarship after graduation, please help us. We want to follow all that.
Recommendation.
We don't have to when I saw UNDP, especially with the SDGs symbols. And when I came, what drew my attention is the part that says healthy planet for prosperity of all. Our responsibility and our opportunity. For UNDP, I'll offer this recommendation. You've been doing well when it comes to agriculture, telling our people what to do, where to farm, acknowledging them about certain things. But I also want to take this to you as a positive recommendation. Our people, they only farm per season. So I want you to take this. Instead of our people farming per season, especially in the swamp where we have rain, or we having the swamp, the rainy season, they leave the swamp, and they come to the dry land, the dry season, they go back to the swamp. I want you now to put this on your agenda to get it to their mind and get it to them that in the dry season they need to adapt an Asian method of irrigation. There should be irrigation canals within our agricultural setting. Let the people, the old people know. And let them know at certain time what to plant and what not to plant. Like for instance, I walked through a garden and I saw a lady plant a certain crop at a certain time and everything died. The only thing she had to say to me was, the people that made wish, everything in my company died. So it's because she don't have the knowledge. And another part about it is that since you people are going from one end to another, you should leave us with something to work with. My recommendation here is that you should be using high level of technology. We all use mobile phones. UNDP could develop another application taking the movement to science and technology, develop an application wherein if I'm walking through the swamp I'm walking through the swamp, I can see a plant that I know, I have seen, but I don't know the name. Let me snap it. Let that app tell me the name of the plant, the benefit of the plant, so that the people that are there, people that are there, when they see it, they will know the importance of that plant and they will keep it. Then my professor, then he knows. He usually caution people about the things about those things, those plants that we run through when we sick. I hope people use to run through them when we sick. We know that we're losing out on everything. So as this app are developed, I will not only be working when you come, but I'll be working when you are employed, both for my benefit and for your benefit.
Thank you very much.
So that's what
Thank you very much. We have to develop a database of plants in, Liberia Forest is not only domesticated to us alone. We are part of an entire forest complex. So it means that the entire Upper Guinea forest ecosystem, we have to be able to do or consolidate all the information on plants and the medicinal plants and the herbal benefits to people. So, but in the meantime, you can download that particular app, the plant identifier, and then sometimes, for me, I used to have it on my phone, but then eventually I wasn't using it as much. Then I changed it and downloaded the World Resource Institute Forest Alert. That means you can look at Liberia. If anybody light fire, anybody burning a huge tract of forest, or anybody clear a huge tract of forest, the global alert can pop up. So I still have that app. It's called World Forest Alert. So my thing is, if you have a smartphone, look on the Google store, you will find all of that. In fact, as soon as you go plant identifier, it can show over 30 different apps. So you can download that and find the one that's useful to you and test it. With that in mind, I would like to say thank you to everybody for coming. The protocol here is we stand here and do a pictorial, but in a special way on behalf of the UNDP team, my mentor, my boss. When I enter the office, he said, "You owe me." I said, "Very much."
And you will continue to be
I will owe you forever because I use what you experience. I don't know if you are appreciated by the students here enough, but I think I needed to come from somewhere else to tell you that 12 years ago, the things that you wrote, that you gave me my master's degree. And so sometimes you can be having precious jewel and you don't know what it is when somebody has to come from far off west. This man came to me and said he met him 17 years ago. And we all are testimonials of who he is. And so, it's a good thing. Thank you so much. I gauge the level of information that these people have. It means that you are doing a very, very good job. Thank you so much to the hippos. I don't know if you are general hippos or pygmy hippos. If you people are pygmy hippos, then you people are critically endangered. If you are critically endangered, then we can invest in you. If you are ordinary hippo, well, you in danger. So different people can come. But if you pygmy, then you are critically endangered and you are special. Thank you so much for taking up your time, and we look forward to interacting with you more and more in the future. And we will not forget to be back. Moving forward, I'm sure a major recommendation is that Harbel College becomes integral to much of the education and awareness initiative, including the piloting of new technologies. It should start with a technical institution like Harbel. Everybody else is watching. If you need to watch this particular interaction, please go on UNDP Facebook account. Most of you are on YouTube. EPA is on UNDP Facebook account. It's on EPA Facebook account. EPA Liberia, right?
Yeah, sure.
EPA Liberia Facebook account. Yes, UNDP Spark Blue is on the YouTube. Myself, I will push it to my page too as well, my institution page too as well, and this will be all over the place. And from time to time, you can also use this to just show just show the interaction. And I know most of the time you guys always have interactions like this. So thank you so much to everyone. At this point in time, we will stand here for a quick picture. Is that?
Gentlemen, please help me. Let's put this away.
Am I
Thank you.
correct? Am I correct? For this?
The tendency of going right is good for us to have